problem lay. Within the lava phase, Edison contacts Stussy and tells her to lower the Frontier Dome's barrier and escape. She refuses because she still needs to help the Straw Hats escape, but Edison tells her it is useless against the five elders, and in any case, they have done all they can for the crew. Speaking of, Jinbe is still heading for the ship carrying Zoro, the former apologizing to Nami for taking so long. She informs them to hurry up because the Marines' ships are starting to blockade the northeast coast. Stussy is relieved to hear they have a chance to make it out as Edison demands she flee, but Stussy tells Edison now that the Stella is dead. She feels she has no purpose anymore. At the coast, Nushiro breaks free of the giant's grip and tries to cut down the giant Bonnie, but Frankie gets her out of the way of his slash attack that cuts off the ship's helm, just as Bonnie changes back to normal. Dr. Daorishan. Vegapunk continues saying that Joy Boy's defeat marked the end of the Void Century as Nushiro jumps high into the air and unleashes a powerful slash attack that cuts the lava phase in half, causing all of the captive Cypher Pole agents and Seraphim to fall down, which the Marines see and try to rescue. Dr. Vegapunk then says that the world never recovered from the aftermath of the war. Dr. Vegapunk acknowledges how difficult it is to travel from place to place in the world because the sea is treacherous, and it compels people to choose to live and die at their place of birth rather than explore new cultures. However, he states that it was not like that 1,000 years ago. A cataclysmic ecological disaster occurred during the Void Century that sank the ancient world into the ocean, and the islands people live on are nothing more than fragments of those landmasses. Several people around the world do not believe Dr. Vegapunk's story, though some do consider it to be serious. Of course, Dr. Vegapunk admits it is tough to rely on his word alone, but he thinks this change in the world is what caused the Void Century, as within that time frame, the sea level rose by 200 meters. However, the big question regarding how such flooding occurred still remains. Dr. Vegapunk knows that the people's first guess is that it was a natural disaster, but in all his research he found nothing indicating that. Rather, he believes it was a man-made occurrence, and his suspicions were confirmed following the earthquake from a few days ago. Dr. Vegapunk declares that the disaster that caused the flooding was from the ancient weapons, and it still exists to this day, just waiting for its next usage, as if to say the Great War from centuries past is still ongoing. The people of the world are shocked by Dr. Vegapunk's statement that there are world-sinking weapons out in the world somewhere, and even more shocked by his claim that the war from centuries ago is still ongoing and in secret, despite everyone from that time period supposed to be dead by now. Dr. Vegapunk switches topics to apologize for something else he feels responsible for. Dr. Vegapunk states that his goal was to create an energy source that could help humanity advance, and though it remains unfinished, he was proud to admit he created such a source in the Mother Flame, and that one day its power will be harnessed in a way for the entire world to benefit. However, he reveals a fragment was stolen, which is what he is taking responsibility for. As for Stussy, she is still conversing with Edison as they comment on Nushjiro's attack on the lava phase. Suspecting one of the five elders is on their way now, Edison pleads with Stussy to escape. She asks, however, if it is okay she releases Kaku, as she does not want him to suffer the consequences of this event, though she promises she will stop him from pursuing the Straw Hat Pirates, despite not suspecting his priorities would be leaning towards this. Edison accepts Stussy's wishes and apologizes for making her turn on Cypher Pole, as she had come to see them as friends. However, he tells her that her inner turmoil is proof that she is a human being, and he wishes her to find a way to keep living, which Stussy tearfully acknowledges. Dr. Vegapunk tells the world that 2 weeks after the fragment of the Mother Flame was stolen,